Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for being flexible about moving rooms. My name is Yael Fishman. I'm a Life Enrichment Coordinator, and thank you for coming. Today we're going to be speaking with Mellisa Jill. Some of you may know her. Some of you may have come to other events that we've had with Mellisa. She's been here in person last year, and she was with us for Active Aging Week, and we did a workshop even before that with her. So Mellisa is our partner and our friend. She is, aside from being a magnificent yoga teacher, she is also a life coach, and she's going to be speaking with us today about topics that about why this is your best life now. She is the founder of her business, which is called Alive with Mellisa, and this program is called How to Live Your Best Life Now, because Mellisa is a firm believer that these are the best years of your life if you know how to cultivate your thoughts and your actions. And I'm going to turn it over to Mellisa so she can tell you more.
Thank you, beautiful Yael. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Thank you for bringing me here. Hi, everyone. How are you? How's everyone doing today? It's too loud? We're good. We're good?
Yeah, perfect.
We're good. Okay. Okay. Well, today, the last couple of weeks, we talked a little bit about living your best life, and we talked about your mind and, being in control and choosing your thoughts and how important that is. We talked about that the first week. And last week, we talked about taking care of your body and moving your body and exercising. And I thought today would be a good day to talk about honoring your soul. And when I say honoring your soul, I'm talking about your emotions. I'm talking about your feelings, honoring what you feel and taking care of yourself each day in order to nourish yourself and to give yourself just what you need in each moment. So, honoring our soul is a lot about basically focusing inward and paying attention to how you feel. So, you might be going about your day and you might be having this uneasy feeling like something's bothering you and you're not really sure what it is. So, you may want to focus inward and just pay attention. Just ask yourself, ask your heart, what is it? What is going on right now? What is bothering me? Sometimes, very often, we go through our day and things happen. We're so used to going. We're so used to keeping busy. We're so used to getting things done that sometimes we don't stop to process the things that are happening and we hold it in and we hold it inside. Sometimes we know that things are going on, and sometimes we definitely know what's bothering us. We go through a lot of things in life. We can go through grief and sadness. We can go through emotional hurt and pain. And we also have very wonderful times in our life where we just really feel joyous and we want to celebrate and we want to enjoy life, and maybe we just want to play, maybe we just want to rest. And so there's one thing that I work with a lot of my clients on, and I talk about it. I call it the seasons of the soul, because certain times in life you might want to do something for yourself that worked for you in the past or in another time in your life, but you may find that right now it's not working, or it's not making you feel as good as it once made you feel before, or you're not as happy doing this as you once were. And so it's almost like the seasons of the year. And I know in Florida, your seasons aren't quite as different as our seasons are here in New Jersey. But in the winter time, I would not be putting on my bikini and going outside and lay at the beach. And in the summertime, I definitely wouldn't want to be putting on my coat, or I wouldn't be able to try to go skiing. Maybe if I went, maybe they had a fake mountain or something like that. But so you wouldn't want to do that. In the spring, you love to go out and see the flowers and all the new growth and the greenery. And in the fall, it's so nice to watch the foliage that's changing. And so this is just an example of seasons. And so we have different seasons of our soul. And it's just a matter of paying attention to what it is that you want and what it is that you need, rather than always going through life on autopilot, always going through life just doing what it is that we do, following the list. I mean, we do have routines and different regimes that we like to follow for our health, for our well being, and also for work. We have things that we need to accomplish and things we need to get done. But so often we do get caught up in these things to the point where we lose track of what we really need inside. And so I want to encourage you to just take the time to spend time in quiet, to spend time focusing inward, to spend time honoring your needs and honoring what it is you're feeling. Because if you're going through a time of grief, or if you're going through a time of sadness, or even I call it emotional recovery time, you may have been through something that was difficult and maybe it's over and you're not really grieving something, but you went through a rough time and now it's over, but you're still suffering you're still kind of struggling with the residue of this tough time that you've been through. And I always like to say it's imagine if you just had surgery physically. Your body, you go through a surgery, your body is things weren't fixed and you're healing and you need time to recover. And sometimes when it's not as visual or it's not as visceral, it's not something that you can really, see. It's not like healing from surgery, but when we're healing from something that happened emotionally or something that happened that was, kind of hard on our soul, hard on our psyche, then we need to give ourselves time to heal, time to just do things that nourish our soul, do things that make us feel good, that make us feel happy. So for everyone, that would be different. And again, different times in your life, different souls, different seasons. You may be drawn to doing different things, but you may want to spend time out in nature. Sometimes, you might want to go for a walk. Maybe you don't feel like walking. Maybe you'd like to just sit outside in nature and listen to the birds and look at the trees and the sky and the clouds. These are things that can really be soothing to your emotional self. And you could also maybe take a bath or maybe spend some time just watching a movie that you can really get lost in, or spend time with a pet or a good friend. Call someone on the phone that you really love to talk to. Maybe you just need to rest. Sometimes you're inside, you just might need to take a rest just for a little while. So it's all about paying attention to what you need, paying attention to what you feel, paying attention to what will make you feel better in each and every moment. So I have a few 10 seasons of the soul that I've described, and I'm just going to run over these with you, and there are many, many other seasons of the soul that can happen, but this is just an example, just to give you a certain awareness, to pay attention to different things in your life. And when you feel drawn to something, usually it's what you should be doing. So it's about honoring your intention, honoring your intuition. So the first season of the soul is energizing. In this season, I feel a sense of excitement for life and richest sense of fulfillment imaginable. I love to be able to go hard, to vibrantly move and work and play. Do you ever have times in your life where you just feel really energized and excited and you want to go and do something? And, when you're feeling this energy, go with it and enjoy it, because that is a season that you can be very productive in. You can take advantage of the fact that you're in this place that you can actually grow and create and do some really exciting things. Another season of the soul is resting. In this season, I like to allow myself the rest that I need. I spend time reading books and that make me feel good. I watch videos and movies that bring me joy. So sometimes I just need to rest. And I can give you an example. I was working for about a year with my boyfriend's parents at their business. They own a very, very, very busy radiology business in town. And I was working here and I was so plugged into helping them and I was working so hard, but it really wasn't what I was meant to be doing, because I'm meant to be doing life coaching. I'm meant to be teaching yoga. I'm meant to be teaching meditation. This is where I belong. So I was really kind of plugging into a place. I was totally out of alignment with what I was supposed to be doing for my soul. And I was also just really giving all my time and energy to something that was not where I belonged. I mean, it was great that I was there and I was able to help, but for me, it was taxing. It was taxing on me. So when I finally stopped working there, I took about a week or two just to give myself a break. I did work for part of the day, but I allowed myself a few hours each day to just rest. I would go onto YouTube and find a lot of inspirational videos, and I listen to people talking that helped me and that inspired me and that made me excited to do and be and just become a better person. And this is just something that really inspires me. But you may find you need some time to rest. And if you find that time, I encourage you to honor that. This is not the same as just deciding, never to do anything again and just, kind of like live out life, not being active. This is about just honoring what you need in this moment. And it's not that you're going to rest forever, but right now is a time that you need to rest, that you need to recover from different things that you've been actively doing or that you've been through in your life. Maybe you've been through some emotional trauma, someone that you love has may have been hurt or ill or even passed on. And so these are times when you really need to give yourself a chance to heal and recover from all that you've been through. And so I want to encourage you to just pay attention always to what you need and honor that. Another season the soul is playing. Sometimes you just need to play a little bit. In this season, I'm absolutely free. I can travel, I can go out in nature, I can do things that might even seem like a waste of time, play crossword puzzles. Just do something that's playful, that makes you feel kind of just happy, whatever it is that makes you feel happy in that moment. You can enjoy time in the sunshine, outdoors, in nature. You can spend time playing solitaire or whatever it is that makes you feel happy, even though it may seem frivolous. We're so used to thinking that everything that we do has to be accomplishing something. And there is a lot to be said about dreams and goals and conquering those goals and achieving those goals, but there's also a lot to be said about taking time to actually play, to feel happy, to enjoy whatever it is that you're doing, just to kind of escape from reality for a little bit and just play. Another season of the soul is nurturing. During this season, I do whatever I can to nurture my soul. I may need more sleep, and I like to do nurturing things like getting a massage or taking a long, luxurious bubble bath. What nurtures you? Maybe there's something that you need to do to nurture yourself. And for everyone, again, that's different, but honor what you need. This is very similar to when you need rest, nurture. Maybe you want to pay attention to how much sleep you're getting, or if you're taking rest times during the day. Another season of the soul is nourishing. This is a season where I know I need to build up my physical strength. I focus on my diet, my exercise, and my rest. Focusing on and balancing my basic needs is what I need most here. So sometimes you may be feeling physically run down, and it's time to really focus on nourishing yourself, on nourishing your body, on getting the movement that you need, on choosing the most nourishing foods that you can, and making sure that you're getting your rest again, but really taking time to focus on nourishing you. So these again is a season of the soul. We should be doing this all the time, but there are times where we maybe want to give it a little bit more focus because that's what we need in that very moment of our life. Another season is working. During this season, I know that I have things to accomplish and I feel ready to tackle them. I may find myself losing balance here on the other things because I'm working so hard. However, when it's the right season for working, I take advantage of the energy and the inspiration. Afterwards, I usually find myself in the season of resting, nourishing, or nurturing to balance out the time that I spent working so hard during this period. So you may have something you really want to accomplish. Maybe you want to redo your apartment or clean out your closet or, redo your wardrobe or whatever it is that you want to work on, maybe whatever you're involved in, you're volunteering and you're creating different activities and doing things in your community. And it's really time to work hard and get it done. And you're feeling focused, you're feeling energized, and by all means, go with it. And just notice if you start to fall a little bit behind on your self care, that when you accomplish what it is that you're working on, that you just bring yourself back to balance with a nourishing season of the soul or a resting season of the soul or nourishing. Another season of the soul is connecting. During this season of connecting, I relish the connection and sharing of love with other human beings in my life. Although this is something that I do at all times, I find myself in seasons where this is just what I need most. And so I honor that. Sometimes I just really feel a strong need for connection. And on the other end of the spectrum, there are times where I just feel like I need some respite time. I need some time alone. So, and we're all very different in the amount of time that we need with others and being alone. So it's again, it's paying attention, honoring what you really need because no one knows what you need except for you. So you really, it's all about paying attention. It's as simple as stopping, breathing, closing your eyes, just focusing inward, focusing on your heart, and asking yourself, what is it that I need right now? And you'll find that when you honor these needs that you have, you'll find that will also help you to live a much happier, much more productive life because you're honoring what you need. You're honoring what you need in each moment. Another season I call the season of allowing. In this season, I simply go through the motions of life with ease, allowing what is happening around me to be as it is, and allow the changes in my life to unfold, acknowledging that they are all a part of the evolution of my soul. So, this is sort of a being able to just go with the flow of life rather than fighting against the current because there are things in life that we simply cannot change. We cannot change many things in life. We can't change what's going on with this COVID right now. We can't change sometimes, loved ones may be sick or we may have an illness that we can't change. So it's a matter of being able to accept what we cannot change so that we can focus our energy on those things that we can, so that we can focus our energy on self care, on sharing love, on sharing joy in whatever level that we can amidst the things that are going on around us that we have no power or control over. So, this is, I call allowing, just allowing what is to be so that we can find peace because there's nothing more unnerving than trying so hard to change something that we can't change or trying to control something that we can't control. We can't control other people, we can't control events that go on around us, but we can certainly control how we react to these things and what we do in relation to the things that we actually can control. Another season of the soul that I have here is um, being. In this season, I need to be quiet and still. Usually, here, I need a lot of alone time, and I don't feel the need to do a whole lot except for allowing myself to simply just be. And again, this is similar to resting, but it's maybe that I'm not physically tired, but I just need time to just sort of meditate, to just sort of be alone, to be in some quiet time, to be able to reflect, maybe to be able to journal, and to do things that just allow me to be and to be exactly who I am, where I am in the moment, without having to do anything else. And the last is becoming. In this season, I am growing, I am learning, I'm giving myself a space to evolve into the next beautiful level of my being. So it's always growing, always reaching higher, choosing better, and creating goals and creating dreams and creating things that we want to do. So just basically, it's just a growing period of time in life. So all of these are different seasons of the soul that I have thought of, but I know there are many, many more. And for each of you, the different seasons that you feel in your emotions and in your psyche are could be very similar and also very different. But it's all about focusing inward. It's all about paying attention to what you really need. It's all about connecting with your heart and really noticing what you're feeling because the emotions will come up. And sometimes we need to allow the emotions to come up. Sometimes we need to just be with the emotions and let them work their way out. And sometimes there's something that we can do, there's action we can take to help with these emotions that we're feeling and the things that we're going through in our life. So I just encourage you to take that time, with all the to do lists you have, with all the things that you do to be active and to exercise and to take care of yourself and all the different things that you're involved in, which is absolutely wonderful. That's the most important thing, that you keep yourself active and plugged into life and doing things that you enjoy, take the time to just notice what's going on inside. Notice what you need and honor that. Honor you just as you are in each moment. So that's my message for you today. And I would like to ask you in the audience what you do to honor your soul and what different, if you have any other seasons of the soul that you can think of that you go through and that I haven't mentioned.
If you would like to speak, raise your hand. I'll come over with the microphone. Does anybody have anything they'd like to share? Okay, 1 second, Melissa. I'm coming over to Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi, hi. The way I find healthy is going out into the garden and working in the garden and seeing things grow. And that kind of settles me down. You know, it makes me feel better to watch things that are growing and colors and that's what I
I'm so sorry. I cannot hear anything that Nikki said. Is there any way to?
It's hard with our masks and the microphone.
I'm so sorry.
Nikki was saying that it was very helpful to her is going outdoors and watching things grow and taking note of and gardening.
Yes, gardening is very therapeutic. That's wonderful. Nikki, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm sorry that I couldn't hear you expressing it yourself. It's just a little bit hard to hear with the microphone and everything going on. But yes, that's wonderful that you spend time outdoors and watching things grow. Isn't that a beautiful way to just see life happening, that life is happening all around us and life is happening within us. And it's a wonderful reminder how we can plant seeds and they grow, how we can flourish and blossom and bloom just like the flowers do. And thank you for sharing that, Nikki. Thank you so much.
Jeannie wants to say something. Hold on 1 second.
Hi, Jeannie.
Hello, it's good to see you again. I was just thinking on what Nikki said. We live here in the most beautiful, beautiful garden. The whole campus is magnificent. And it's a great joy, and the weather isn't so hot anymore. After I've done most of the things of the day, I try and get an hour outside with my book. And this is a great way to attract people to come and talk to you. If you're sitting reading, they think that that's marvelous, they'll come chat to you. And it's wonderful. It keeps you in touch with the world.
Yes, I love that. Jeannie, thank you so much for sharing. I heard you say you love to sit outside with your book. Did you say something about weaving?
She said that it's an uncanny how as soon as she goes outside, she'll sit and read her book, people come over and start talking to her.
Oh, see, I'm having that's wonderful too. So you get to also connect with other people and you get to share with other people. And connection is very important. Love and connection and sharing and talking and being with other human beings and also just being outside and like you said, just the fresh air and you live on the most beautiful grounds is absolutely true. So I'm so glad that you are taking advantage and enjoying that. Thank you for sharing that, Jeannie.
I want to comment on something because we were talking about different seasons, and one that you mentioned was connecting. And funny enough, we're heading into November and Thanksgiving, and I know we always talk about gratitude, but it really is, I think, a season for connecting. I know it always has been for me. For people, I'll tell you a short story. Years and years ago, I was thinking about my best friend from college, this girl that I met. We were only went to school for 1 year together because she transferred out, and I cried like a baby when she left because she was just such a great person. And this was really before cell phones, so and Facebook and all of that. So we lost touch, and I found a phone number for her. Many years had passed, and I texted her on Thanksgiving Day, and I said, I'm just thinking about you. I don't even know if this is your phone number anymore, but I miss you. I think about you all the time. And she texted me back, and that was probably 15 years ago, and we text every single day now.
You text each other every single day?
Every day, and she became my best friend again, all over again. And I always pointed to Thanksgiving because we reconnected on Thanksgiving Day.
I love that. That's wonderful. And that's a wonderful story, Thanksgiving. It's something to really be grateful for. And I know you are and appreciate it. That's a beautiful story, Yael. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say? Nikki would like to say something. Hold on. Here. Hold on 1 second. Music. Nikki wanted me to remind you to talk about music. You want to talk about music?
Music.
Okay, Johnny is going to speak.
Hi, John.
I have two things that keep me very happy. I like writing new songs. I'm about to enter the US song contest, which occurs every December, and that keeps me happy, as well as photographs. I love creating new images and I've entered a lot of contests and won a few, and I really enjoy that, and that keeps me happy. Writing music and taking pictures and enlarging them and doing all kinds of things with pictures.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So it's being creative, taking a time to be creative. Music is very soothing to the soul. First of all, music, they say music comes a savage beast, and I'm not saying you're a savage beast. We're all, we all have that. Music can make us feel so good, and music can really connect to our heart and just make us feel wonderful. And your singing, that's wonderful too, because it's a really great form of expression and creating. And now you're creating photography and enlarging the photos and making beautiful pictures and enjoying the work that you're creating. And that's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, John. That's very inspirational.
He's a magnificent photographer, by the way. I've seen his pictures. They're magnificent.
I'd love to see them. When I come there the next time, I would like to see them. Can I see them, John? Okay. Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to comment on? Different seasons of their life? I think creating is so therapeutic for everybody, whether it's gardening or some type of an art form, or creating music or photography or cooking.
Or knitting or sewing.
Yeah, anything like that.
Yeah.
I think it does something really wonderful for your soul when you can look at something and say, I made that. I created that from nothing.
Yeah.
Very, very fulfilling. Nikki wants to say something. Hold on.
Great. I love when you talk to me. Let's keep talking. This is wonderful.
I was just saying, helping other people is really kind of soul caring, because you are giving of yourself to somebody and helping them with all their problems, and even not even only financially, but in support.
Yes, I heard that you helping other people. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, and helping other people does make your soul feel so good, and giving and sharing it also helps us to put things into perspective, doesn't it? Sometimes when we might be feeling sorry for ourselves for something that's happening, and then we help other people, we can focus on them, get the focus off of ourselves. It also feels good to give and help and share and do for other people. And also too, when you see the people that need help, it helps you put into perspective how blessed we are.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share? I'm looking at I made notes about the different seasons. I love allowing, just the idea of just allowing changes to unfold in our lives. We've all been through that. And becoming.
We're always becoming. We never stop becoming for as long as we live.
You always want to be a better version of yourself, and whatever that means, and however that you accomplish that. That's how we never stop growing.
I love that, Yael. Thank you. Yes. And so true. Do you all agree? I can see heads. If you nod your head, I can see it.
Yeah.
If you don't agree, you can do that. I can see that too. I can see the sides of your heads. Jeannie, I can see your leg, so you can just kick your leg forward and back if you agree. I have a side view of everyone here.
It's a wonderful thing that you are able to explain to us.
Hold on one second, I'm going to bring the microphone over to Jeannie.
Thank you. It's a wonderful thing that you have the ability to make it so easy for us to understand where you're going and to follow you, because some of the things that you've made me think about would never have occurred to me to go that way to think. It's expanded my thought processes, maybe not so well as yours, but I can find myself thinking along different lines. I was getting a bit stale, and old-fashioned. I think it happens when you get older. And now I realize that all the new things that are coming, and the kids, and all the things the kids, my grandkids are doing, are absolutely amazing. Quite incredible. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie. That's wonderful. That makes me so happy because it makes everything that I do so rewarding and so worthwhile when I really hear that it does make a difference for you. And I'm just very passionate about it. And I'm passionate about life, and I'm passionate about inspiring others to really live their best life and to feel joy and to live a life that fulfills them. And if on any level you feel inspired, that makes everything so worthwhile to me. So thank you so much for sharing that. It's just everything.
I also want to remark on the fact that I have watched so many residents in the community since this pandemic started, how much has been asked of you to grow, whether you wanted to or not. I mean, aside from being incredibly flexible and patient with all of our circumstances of not having events, yes, we're having events, no, we're not having events. And, everything with dining, with transportation, there's been a lot of change on campus, a lot, much of it because of the pandemic, but even construction on campus, and there's a lot of change happening. I know for a fact that you've all faced a lot of change this year, and you have very, very gracefully navigated that. And just for any of you to have, I know many of you in here because I've seen you on Zoom calls. I mean, who would have thought a year ago, did you think that you would be doing that? You still have a lot of learning in you. And sometimes we seek it out because we want to learn something specific. And sometimes it's thrust upon us and us as well. I mean, all of us here who work here, I really was not that familiar with Zoom before all this happened. And we have, and also had to rise to that occasion. So I think you should all be very proud of yourselves and recognize what that required of you. I mean, there are some people who just said, I won't, but really most of you have just so gracefully adapted to all the changes. And I think that has to fall under one of your seasons for sure.
I think it's allowing, becoming. It's probably fits under a couple of them. Allowing, becoming, working. It takes work. Yeah. It's funny when you're thrust into something and you have no choice. I was just having this conversation recently. We were talking about people who speak different languages. I've always dabbled a little bit in Spanish, and I worked with it in school, and I've been to Spanish speaking countries many times where I thought I could communicate really well until I was actually in a town. When you're at the resort, everyone, they're used to these people that speak just a little bit. I thought I was doing wonderfully. And then I realized how lost I was. But, if I went to live there, I would have to actually learn the Spanish because I would have no other way to communicate. And just like people who came here to our country and learned this other language because they had to in order to communicate. My boyfriend's family, they've all come here from another country many years ago, and they went to work and they had to learn to speak and, create their career and their life all at the same time. I give people a lot of credit, but at the same time, they were in that position where they had no choice. And sometimes it's good to put yourself in a position where you have no choice, but to do something good for yourself. I started teaching fitness for that reason because I knew if I wasn't accountable to show up, I might not do it. So I decided to become an instructor years ago because I thought if people aren't counting on me to show up, I just might stay home, It reminds me in my Pilates class or all my classes, I always tell people to listen to your body. It's very important that you listen to your body. Again, just like honoring your soul, listen to your body. If something hurts, change it. Don't do it. Modify it. I don't know what you're feeling. You don't know what I'm feeling. No one knows what we need except ourselves. And I would say, listen to your body. And this one man in the class, his name was Ed. He was a real jokester. And I said, listen to your body. And he yelled out, if I did that, I wouldn't be here. So, but anyway, the whole point is, sometimes just throwing yourself into a position where you have to learn something is a great thing because when we have the luxury of not having to learn it, we can simply just decide, no, it's too much work. I don't want to learn that. But if you put yourself in a position where it's something you really have to do, it kind of gives you another push.
Definitely does.
Yeah,
2020 has been a year of challenge and growing. Everybody has grown this year.
absolutely.
Does anybody else have anything else they would like to share with Melissa or with the rest of the group?
Say thank you.
Just to say thank you. And we all want to continue growing.
Yes, keep on growing. If I can inspire you to do that, then everything is worth it. Just even if you take one small change in your life and do it every day, that makes a huge difference. So it's not about doing 1,000 things. It's about doing one thing and doing it each and every day. And as you do that, you'll see that it will change the trajectory of your life. So choosing one thing that inspires you and add that to your day. And I encourage you to just take the time each day to focus inward and notice what you need today, even in each moment, because that can change from moment to moment or, from morning to afternoon. But just stop and check in every now and then with yourself, with your heart, with your soul, and just see what you need. And if you're in alignment with what you need, we can get schedules and things that we have to do, but sometimes we could be pushing ourselves in one direction when what we really need is something else. So just paying attention to what you need.
I find myself when I'm slipping into a mood, I know that I'm a good friend to people and I give relatively good advice. Sometimes I stop and say to myself, if I were giving myself advice, if I were my own best friend, what would I be telling myself right now? And I think
Yes.
that ties in with listening to yourself, listening to what you need. That's how you started. That's exactly how this conversation started. Is what do I need and how can I get it? How can I get there? And sometimes it takes a little bit of reflection and introspection to figure that out.
It does. And it's always so much easier to give advice to other people, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Especially
I
when
don't
it's,
know what it is.
yeah, when you have the objective view, it's a lot easier to know. But also too, taking advice from other people is great. And then there are times where we really need to say, that's not the right answer for me. And that's not always the case, but you want to just check everything that comes to you. You want to take what you can use, leave the rest. And just check in with yourself. Is this right for me? So, a lot of times what's right for everyone else might not be right for you in this particular moment. So that's why it's important just to pay attention and focus inward. And it's good to have friends to give advice, because very often they're giving advice and you're like, yeah, you're right. I needed to hear that. But by checking in with yourself when it's exactly what you need.
So true.
All the truth is right within you.
Anybody have anything else that they want to add? We're so grateful to you, Mellisa. Thank you so much.
I just love you
You're such a
all.
ray
I
of
really
sunshine.
do. Huh?
You're such a ray of sunshine.
So are you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We will see you again soon. I will talk with you soon.
Yes, very good. Bye for now.
Stay well.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.